Mm-hmm.
That we just have to wait for the magic wonder when it comes to YouTube technique.
Yeah, let's see if YouTube's actually. Again, hopefully it stays
Actually, it's
perfect because my network is
yeah,
weak.
it's yeah. Well, it started. I don't think it had. You have changed when it comes to. It's just still a bit whitish in the color here.
Oh, that's the
Uh,
screen. That's the screen. I'm gonna have to set that after because I didn't have time to tweak the.
yes, you need to do that. It looks a little washed out. Regarding a change to the minimum requirements, whatever have you on the screen. But anywho, very much welcome to That Beautiful Life podcast. According to the show notes here, it's episode 260. I would say something else according to my show notes, but that's something completely different. But even so, happy to have you here when it comes to That Beautiful Life. We are here to entertain, hopefully, give some tips when it comes to Tele and maybe some video games. And yeah, Q, my dear friend, how has your week been so far?
It has been a week. It has been a week.
Yeah,
There's ups, there's downs, there's all sorts of stuff, and in between.
true.
Um, I think that the thing is that um like I've spoke like on the podcast. There's certain things that or I should say we sort of we keep to ourselves, we keep to each other, and then there are some things
Yes.
that we share with you, and
Mm,
I think there's something about that's going on with me that I feel fine with sharing with you, and I mean you as the listeners of That Beautiful Life podcast, and that is you know I just finished one of my therapy sessions. I have therapy sessions on some afternoons in the week. It's something new that me and my missus are doing, and you know, it's nice to just sit and chat with someone. I mean, like generally, I tend to
it
chat with my
is.
brothers and friends and stuff like that about a lot of things, but having that conversation with someone else in the room that's sort of um coordinating the whole thing is different, and
Mm,
yeah, and I think more than anything else as well, a lot of times um people fail to discuss stuff about mental health and how we feel and this and that and so forth, and it's
yes.
it's a thing that people do and people go through, and we have to have conversations about it. And so in case anyone is also going through similar doing similar having some similar experiences, hey, I'm there with you. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but that's good. That's good. Actually, it's quite interesting. I mean, we have talked a bit about this before.
Hmm.
It's one thing to have, which I hope most of you guys have out there, like a good friend or two or
Hmm.
family members that you can speak to. This is very important.
Yeah.
Um, and that can be really helpful.
Hmm.
Usually, that can sometimes be enough. But
Yeah.
at the same time, if you're going to go deeper, and especially depending on what the issue is,
Hmm.
we shouldn't hesitate too long to actually take help when it comes to the professional side of things.
Yeah.
And this is something I also discovered. I think I told you, I haven't had any like private counseling. I haven't been meeting a therapy from a personal, like private point of view.
Hmm.
However, when we had problems with in the group when it comes to the ensemble, Chromata that I was working in,
Hmm.
and this is many, many, many years ago. But I just remember that it was really good to have those sessions. We had both like private sessions and group sessions because
Hmm.
it is a difference when you talk to someone that isn't your friend, your
Hmm.
close friend or
Hmm.
family member. It becomes different,
Hmm.
and it can be really, really helpful because I also felt that, oh, I am actually saying things
Hmm.
that I first off didn't think I would say to this unknown woman sitting on the other side of the desk, so to say.
Hmm.
But at the same time, it felt really good because I don't think I would have said some of the things to someone else,
Yeah.
meaning maybe a family member or close friend, that is.
Yeah.
So I think it's great. I think it's really good. Most people most likely would need this kind of uh, sessions or meetings at least once or twice in their lives. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
So
So
mm,
that's just one thing. The rest of the
yeah.
week has been a week. It's been I have actually been redoing my entire network. I am not telling you guys what I'm using. I don't want to put that online. But I have redone my entire network for security reasons. I've switched everything, also for stability as well. I've got a new sort of router system with a different brand, a different company that I used to use, and so forth. And so far I'm satisfied with it. You guys can tell me
Hmm.
based on how the podcast goes.
Yeah,
But
you were setting it up yesterday. You sent me a picture. It was a good-looking router, by the way. So I hope it's gonna feel your needs. That's basically it, you know.
yeah, I hope so too. I genuinely hope so. I'm hoping. I'm looking at it. It's so far it's working. Granted, I will be clear. Most of my family are not on the network as of yet. It's mostly my stuff on the network. I think they're probably upset with me. They're probably seeking revenge at some point or the other. But
Yeah, yeah.
at the end of the day, I'm taking it slowly with this network because I want to make sure that I've put enough security things in place for when
Mm.
I let everyone else back on it, because one of the things I noticed with a lot of my family members, and some of you will notice this as well in your families, is that most of them don't update their stuff. A lot of members of my family just
True.
they don't update their stuff. And the thing when it comes to devices that connect to your network, if they're not up to date, you're introducing security problems into your network and so forth. So
Yes.
I am slowly going to be putting back everyone back on the network, but I'm also going to have to probably set whenever I upgrade my stuff, update for security, and so I'm gonna have to go in and check everyone has done the same, because I haven't
Right.
done that in the past. So that falls on me as the network manager. I need to manage and make sure that, like, everyone's up to date. Look, have you updated your computer? Have you updated your phone? Have you updated this and that and so forth? All the security is
Mm.
good. Perfect. Um,
Mm.
so because a lot of times I take someone's phone. I'm like, wait a minute, why is your phone outdated? Why don't you have driver updates? Because you can see that notification, like the icon saying that
Yeah.
update me. But I don't know, like everyone else sort of like, all right, cool, click that out of the way. I'll just go on my day. For me, I can't
Yeah, yeah,
stand
yeah.
seeing those kind of notifications. Like when I turned on my computer, because it hadn't been connected to the network for quite a few days, there was a Windows update. And the first thing I did before I started doing anything was like, I'm installing that Windows update. Like that's important. I have to
Mm.
install it. Um, everyone else in the house doesn't see it that way, but at the same time, network is being redone. I've also repositioned where I've had the nodes in the house, because we use a mesh network in our home. So I've repositioned where I have the nodes, and I think this new configuration works perfectly, especially for me. I don't want to just it's not all about me, but especially for me, having the nodes in so essentially how our house is. There's one node right now in this living room, in this room where my computer is and stuff like that, and then there's another node
Mm.
in my bedroom, which is on the far side of the house. And
Okay.
so they sort of intersect in the middle. And when I say it kind of works for me, is because both the nodes are in areas where I tend to be and my stuff tends to be. So the signal is the strongest in here. It's the most stable in here. So I should
Of course.
have
Yeah, yeah.
the best internet in my living room, the best internet in my room. So when it comes to gaming,
Mm.
podcasting, streaming, whatever it is, it
Mm.
should be great. It should be brilliant. So we'll see how it goes.
Good.
It's
Yeah.
a new thing. But
Mm.
yeah, generally, um, that has really been the week. I got this new T-shirt. My missus and I went shopping for some new summer clothes for me, and I got this
Yeah,
new T-shirt.
I saw that. Looks great.
Yep, it's Luffy from One Piece.
Mm.
Um,
Yes, yes.
so I've got that as well. So
Nice.
yeah, it's
Beautiful.
yeah,
Hi, Nalo, by the way.
oh, Nalu's in the chat. What's up, Nalu? What's going on? It's been a minute. It has been a minute, Nalu. How are you doing? Um,
Hope you're fine. Yeah.
yeah, definitely hope you're
Oh,
fine.
that's great. Mm.
So yeah, other than that, I can't think of anything else that I can think of right now on the top of my mind. That is something that I want to share today. I don't think there's anything else that I want to talk about some games and Tele. But yeah, what about you?
Cool. Yeah. No, it's been a pretty good week, I would say. Nothing super special. As I mentioned, my oldest son Adam went to Poland,
Mm-hmm.
to Gdansk on Wednesday, which is actually yesterday. Unfortunately, he caught a cold before he went, which is
Ooh.
quite rare. He almost never gets sick,
Mm-hmm.
which is great for him. But he wrote, like, yesterday. He said, "Well, I'm actually writing mostly on Discord to my friends, even though I'm sitting next to them because he lost his voice. It was one of
Wow.
those." Yeah, but they're having a good time. They are. He sent me pictures. They went to a nearby beach. They didn't swim or anything. They were just there chilling.
Hmm.
They had a good. They were at the restaurant yesterday eating good food, and I know they have booked this expensive, very cultural dinner at a. There's a Guide Michelin restaurant in Gdansk. You
Hmm.
know, one of those star restaurants. So they're gonna eat there maybe this evening. I don't know.
Hmm.
So he's coming back on Sunday. So it's been a bit like talk about that and everything.
Oh.
Other than that, we've been trying to do everything we can because we are trying to have a bit time off next week. But Annalie's working, my wife, throughout this week, and then she's off for 4 weeks of vacation.
Hmm.
And I mean, Adam just started his vacation yesterday, so that's
Hmm.
it. So what I will try to do is, of course, I will try to slow down. I think I need that. I felt like the last 2, 3 days I've been a bit. I don't know. I've been a bit slower.
Hmm.
I'm also doing some things that I'm not really keen on doing, but I've started to fix a website. That's one
Ooh.
thing. Yes, I'm using a service through my digital distributor when it comes to my music.
Hmm.
They're called DistroKid, and they had an offer when it comes to Bandzoogle,
Hmm.
which is what can I say? It's directed towards artists and whatnot. So I'm trying it. This is a 30 days trial, so I thought I would do that.
Hmm.
And I've gotten some feedback on my music also. I'm in a group with some other composers and stuff, and got some nice feedback on some of my tracks because I need to get that before I start to pitch the music, as I've told you, to some exclusive libraries.
Hmm.
So I've been really trying to do that. I've also been doing some, how do you say, um, I've been offering a generous hand to some neighbors. It's kind of fun because I take these walks on my lunches, like after lunch, and it's an older couple, and they know I'm a musician. So she asked, like, you know what? I have my brother who is old now. He's on an elder care
Hmm.
place, and he's doing well now. He's been taken care of really well.
Hmm.
He used to play a lot of guitar, but he hasn't done that for quite some years. But now he starts to talk about maybe play a bit again. And they took home the guitar. It was an acoustic guitar, and I could see that the strings were in bad shape, and two of them were broken. Um, she had one of those string sets, so I said, "You know what? I can help you with this." If she went, "Really? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Give me the guitar and the strings. I go home and fix it." So yesterday I changed the sixth and the fourth string. Unfortunately, when I start to tune the guitar, since some of the strings are very old, it just yoink and it was torn up, which can happen. So I talked with her today and it said, if you want to, I can go move on. I can just order these online for you and I fix it. And oh, can you really do that? No, she's like, oh, it takes so much time of your time. And no, 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 it's actually, it doesn't. So, but it feels good. I feel good. This gives me a good feeling in the heart because he's an elder man that has been playing the guitar before. And if that can give him some joy during the days, then I think it's definitely worth it. For me, it's an easy thing to do. So I guess that's mainly what has been passing through this week. Like the normal stuff with some yeah, other things. The
Hmm.
weather up and down, back and forth. I still think that the summer has not been
It's
that great so far, if I
not the
gotta be
same for
honest.
me. For once, we differ in this. It's summer. Like I'm wearing short sleeve, thin shirts and shorts almost every
Yeah,
day, and yeah, it's summering right now. Like I've bought summer pajamas. Let's just put it that way. I
mm,
I am sleeping. I usually throughout the year I usually have socks on all the time, and except for
yeah,
the
you're right.
summer, and it's so warm that I can't keep socks on because I'm sweating. So
No. Yeah,
so
but it's
no,
true. It's been that here too. I mean, I also wear a t-shirt and then shorts or three-quarter pants or something like that,
mhm.
and sleep only in my underpants. But it's what I'm trying to say. It's been very in like yeah, it's been back and forth. We've had now it's been a bit better, but these days also with rain once in a while. But I don't know. We'll
Mhm.
see. We'll see what happens. I'm just, living like as we're doing here. When you look at the globe and a bit up north, the summer is so short. So, and now you look at the date. We are not half into in July, but soon we are.
Yeah.
So it's a bit like. So we'll see what we're gonna come up with also from next week. We'll probably do some small, uh, you know, um, yeah, going somewhere doing things, but
No island
I'm not sure if
sailing.
it's gonna be anything.
No,
Nothing. We don't have anything planned. No.
no sailing out to the islands with Maria and
No, no,
those
no,
lot.
no, no. We won't do that. but but we might go with a boat. We might go to the archipelago. That we might do. Actually, I saw today an offer, at one of the islands, regarding a hotel, like sleeping over and the dinner, and it was pretty good price actually.
Hmm.
So it might be something like that. We'll see. I do want to go. They have an offer now at Gröna Lund, which is the amusement park I was talking
Hmm.
about. Maybe some other time if you come again, we'll go there. But anywho, they are doing a smart thing when they have like after 7 p.m. in the
Hmm.
evenings, they have like 50% off of the like entree price and also the actual, yeah, you have the card for two, or you can do anything in the park, which is good because otherwise it tends to get expensive. So because there are a few more new things in there I want to try out. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
Sounds like a
But
plan.
I guess that's, I see you've had a nice conversation with Nalu as I've been speaking here. So yeah, I guess that's fine.
Multitasking, just
Yeah,
multitasking.
multitasking as usual.
Nala's weather is the opposite of ours. It's rainy and he's 100% completed a game that I will probably never complete because it's Rune Factory and I don't like Rune Factory like that. But I'm happy for you, Nalu. I am happy for you and Rune Factory.
Yeah, we can be that even if we not like or fancy the actual game.
Yeah,
It's still a game that you might like and everything. But
yeah. We
I
appreciate it.
actually
You
watched a
appreciate
bit
it.
of football too. I have to say that too. It's not, but it's not what you think. It's women's football when it comes to the
Ooh.
European Championship. Yeah, this is the thing though, and people are really pissed off here in Sweden. This is nothing new, but we have state television still.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's two channels, one and two. And back in the days when I grew up, they always had everything. They had the ice hockey world championships, they had a football champion, everything. You didn't have to worry.
Yeah.
But I mean, like 10, 20 years ago, of course, more channels started to come around, and now they don't have a chance. So what happens is if I want to see Sweden play, I have to, pay for a subscription on some sort of sports channel, which is
Mm-hmm.
like, come on, no.
Yeah.
So it's so stupid. I mainly been watching some other. I saw who was playing. I think it was Denmark and Netherlands or something. Just
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't have anything else to do and I wanted to watch something like football or whatever have you. So, and that was on the normal like channels, whatever have you. That's in the deal, so to say. But it's so, I'm so tired of that. It gets so
it's
annoying.
it
But
sucks. I think right now I'm seeing a lot of people talking about the zone as an option for watching football and stuff like that, and it's just one more subscription, and the advertisers like
exactly,
it's so nice. We have this and we have that, and all I see is
yeah,
it's just one more subscription that I'm gonna have to pay for if
exactly.
I
No,
want
no.
to enjoy my sports. Like ridiculous.
It's as you said, it's one more subscription. That's basically it. And we have what we have now. We're still paying for Netflix, for HBO, which became HBO Max again.
Hmm.
They just changed it. It was an update yesterday, which was expected. We knew it. And then Amazon Prime. So those three we have.
Same,
Um,
same. I think
Actually,
we.
we can watch Disney too for a bit longer because Adam, I think I mentioned a
Mhm.
few weeks ago that he got into that subscription. But it is what it is.
It is what it is. I think we
But I
have.
mean, with that said, what do you say, my friend? Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Oh, I was saying that with us, we've got Apple TV Plus, but that's just trial. I'm supposed to cancel that next month, but we've got Apple TV Plus,
Okay.
we've got Prime, we've got Amazon, Crunchyroll, and I pay for a La Liga subscription on top of Prime to watch football, La Liga football. So yeah, and I've been
Wow.
considering canceling the La Liga football package because it's just one more thing to pay for.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to have all these sort of things. That being said,
it is.
how about we talk about some what do you want to talk about? Video games or telly? Why is it blank on the screen?
Huh? What?
Why is the screen blank? The previous screen that we're showing, I think it
It's
went.
still working. I mean, I'm just checked, but
No, it's blank. It's blank. Up there's a certain point where I think while recording it must have gone blank at some point while I was
oh, you mean the
recording.
gameplay you have in the
The
stream, right?
gameplay. I just realized that at some point, maybe when I started up the game, um, either there was some sort of privacy something because I can't see the gameplay. Um,
No.
but you know what I'll do is I'll just go back to the point where I actually want to talk about, and let's talk about some video games. Um,
Yeah, sure.
the video game I want to talk about today is the game that I probably spend the most time playing, which is eFootball.
Mm.
And there's a new update. It's a new eFootball update that's just come out today, Thursday. And
Oh,
this update, they added Pele to the game. Pele has not been in the game before, before now in eFootball, and he is there now. And so, I mean,
ah,
he is available to acquire through randomized acquisition systems, loot boxes, as we call them
all
colloquially.
right.
But I think you know what I think I'm probably gonna go try to get him. I've got a few coin on my account from collecting them from doing
Of course, you need that.
daily,
Yeah.
daily challenges and stuff. I'm thinking I could take a chance and see if I get Pele. So not just Pele, but Puskas is also in there as well. So they've put
Oh,
Pele, they've put Johan Cruyff was already there, but they've also put Puskas and and Pele were not in the game before, and I think it's got a lot of people excited. A lot of people who
of course.
were
I
a
mean,
bit.
if you know football, and especially like me, a bit older, I mean, man, like Pele, and I also remember Johan Cruyff. I mean,
Yes.
a heck of a player.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's OG. Of
The
course, you.
the three of them are like are legends of the game. You know, I think when you think of
Yeah, true.
football and you think of the legends of the sports, you have Cruyff, you have Pele, you have Maradona, you have Puskas.
Mm, yeah.
I think a lot of people talk about Zizou up there. Zinedine Zidane as one of
Yeah,
the.
sure.
Maybe there's this guy. He's a goalkeeper. I think he used to play for the Soviet Union. Wears a hat.
Aha.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Oh, names. Yeah, I know who you're
You know what I'm talking about.
who you're referring to. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know.
There are
I know.
certain players that are like, look, these guys were the best of the best at their time, and I think even like
Mm,
Puskas, for example, there's an award that's given out in every year for goal scorers and stuff. It's called the Puskas Awards, and it's after him because he scored a lot of goals. And
yeah.
everyone considers Pele to be the king of football. He was just that good. The guy was just amazing, and Cruyff sort of reinvented Barcelona and Ajax and made
Mm,
this whole tiki taka system that you see modern coaches um, like like Pep Guardiola and so forth using. It all came from him. So you have these greats that are in the game now, and I think everyone is kind of excited for that as a footy fan, as a fan of eFootball, or someone who enjoys playing eFootball. It is cool to see them in the game. I've been a bit excited about that.
was this very recently or?
That's today. So
Oh,
they just dropped them today.
okay.
So
Oh,
so you can see on this is what the main screen looks like when you get into the game. You see a picture of um the three of them there, and
aha. Ah, yeah. That I see Puskás. Yeah.
so yeah, I moved it so it's gonna show up at some in a little bit. So you should see
Yeah,
all
sure.
three
It
of
takes
them.
us a few seconds. Now I see. Okay.
Yeah, so that's the three of them that you can get in this set.
Wow.
It's gonna be available for
That
20
is so
days,
cool.
and then it'll be gone. So about 2 weeks, 2 weeks time to be able to grab them. It's gonna be interesting. I've played
When it
against
comes,
someone. Go on.
yeah. Oh, you have?
Yeah, I played
No,
against
no.
someone
I
with
was just
Pele.
curious. Also, yeah. Can I just ask you though, because I'm so curious when they do. Is this just content update, or does it has anything to do with like gameplay or performance overall? No.
So I haven't actually gone through because when they do these updates, they put like information about gameplay and so forth.
Yeah.
So I haven't gone through to confirm if there have been any gameplay updates, but I have played some games, and it does feel like there are gameplay updates. So it does feel
Okay.
the gameplay does feel different. And usually when they release new content like this, so this is a content update, but usually when they release new content like this, you tend to have some gameplay stuff change. They rebalance certain things. Some players move it differently and
Yeah.
so forth. Which frustrates people if you have a perfectly working system for your team and then it breaks because they've decided, look, goal poachers don't run the same way, or whole players pull back, or whatever the hell they decide every time they
Yeah.
rebalance
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
thing. So this is not this is they may have done some minor updates, because with my team when I've played matches since the update, it's felt a little bit different. But I'm not sure if that's just
Mm.
placebo or if that's actually what's happened, because I haven't read the update notes yet. So I'll probably go in, read
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
update notes over the day and so forth, because I haven't really properly played. Even there was a match that I tried to record in this that seemingly didn't get recorded properly. Um, where I was playing, and I was pretty much controlling the game, 67% possession. I was feeling good, but I had to quit because we
Beautiful.
had we had other things to do. So,
Mm.
but
Okay.
generally speaking, someone got a free win off of me. I was pretty
Mm.
confident I was going to beat them, but the gameplay felt different for me. I looked at how my
Yeah.
players moved, and I was like, ooh, he's not running the same way. He's not doing that same thing. But again, that
Okay.
may just be placebo. It may just be my mind thinking that
Could
there's
be.
change when there isn't. I know that they do their primary big gameplay update in I think it's somewhere around August, maybe at the end of August or something like that. It's when they're doing the big gameplay update or something like that, and I'm looking forward to that because it means that they're gonna
Mm-hmm.
put in new kits for the next season. They'll put in
Yeah.
new
Right.
players and all that kind of stuff, and I think that always gets people excited. And they usually tend to do big gameplay changes around there as well. So
Nice.
I'm looking forward to it. We'll see how that goes. But
Yeah. Of
eFootball,
course.
it's been good. I've also found out that you can, like, I played against this guy in the eFootball group that I'm in, which is called the Sprite League, and there's this guy that I played a match against, and he said to me, oh, because I was saying to him, oh man, you know what, like I was using a team that was not my main team, and he's like, why don't you use your main team? I was like, oh, my Xbox is upstairs and my PC is down here, so I just played with my PC team. He's like, you could play with your Xbox team on the PC. I was like, sorry, what? He's like, yeah, if you just download from the Windows app, the Xbox app, you get to use the same save data. And I was like, really? I didn't know that, because I think the last time I tried
Aha.
that, it didn't work.
Okay.
It worked this time. I tried it out. I've got access to my full Xbox team on my PC, which is a game changer for me, because a lot of the times when I want to play, when I'm sitting here probably playing a PC match, I need to run up the stairs to play an Xbox match when I could
Yeah.
just do it right here on my desk, and that is
Great.
amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So shout out to Microsoft on
Mm.
having that sort of shared save data across platforms. That is
Yes. That's very, very good. Convenient.
so convenient. And there has been rumors that Microsoft is bringing Steam to the Xbox. Oh, if that happens, and I can just share my Steam saves with my
Yeah.
Xbox, the amazingness. I would love to have my Xbox be a Steam machine and just play everything I have
Yeah.
on Steam.
Mm.
Because then I'll find so much more use for it. I mean, granted, I use my Xbox a lot, but still, I'll find so much more use out of it, because it will mean that technically I'll have two PCs
Exactly.
in the house that I game on, one upstairs and one down here, and I won't have to move anything, and it'll be great. So yeah, that's essentially
Cool.
it. It's essentially my gaming for the week. What about you, Rog? What have you been
Nice.
gaming?
Yeah. Yeah. It's been a bit of this and that, but to be honest, it's a bit slow.
Mm.
Meaning when it comes to games, especially in the FPS genre. I think I mentioned it right now. It's a bit like nothing is really happening that is of interest. At least not for me.
Mhm.
Uh, I, but I what I've been doing then is to, especially when I've been streaming, I've been coming back to the finals,
Mhm.
this Embark Studio games, because it's one of the few shooters right now that I feel have something special that is different. And we talked about it, the chaos, the mayhem, the destruction, the buildings falling down, and
Mhm.
it's quite crazy sometimes. And you know also how it is. It's fun when you can play I played with uh, the same people, Joe, that is also from Texas, by the way, thinking of
Mhm.
Nalo now, but and also Vuk, who is from the West Coast here in Sweden. So it's nice when you have like it's trios. You play mostly as trios in the
Mhm.
finals. They have added and created some other game modes, which I think is great. I just wish that game developers did this earlier in the life cycle of the game.
Mhm.
And I'm pretty sure, I mean, the finance is doing A-okay, but as with many games, they have lost also, like players over time.
Mhm.
As a matter of fact, there was a game I covered that is still, I think it might be in early access, that I've talked about here in the podcast, and also I made a video about it, which is called Steel Hunters.
Mhm.
I played it today,
Mhm.
and I will make a video that's going to be most likely out tomorrow, because
Mhm.
I was thinking, due to the fact that it's been a bit slow, what should the next video be? What kind of content? It was really like that. I couldn't really think of anything. I was like, should I do what I do sometimes, go back and play an old game, and
Mhm.
how is this doing in 2025? No, I don't think so. And then, okay, okay, let's see. Steel Hunters, even though it's a small game and title that not many people know about it, but even so, it was kind of fun. It had qualities.
Mhm.
So yeah, I go back in that. So I was like, I think I just made a quick Google search, and then boom, it came up that we are sorry to inform you that Steel Hunter will be shut down in October. I was like, oh, really? Another game
Mhm.
that sees the day of light, and then like half a year or 4 or 5 months later, bye bye.
Yeah, it
So
July the 8th, 2025, Steel Hunters Sunset, and it's horrible.
yes,
Oof. Civils will
and
be
it's
stay alive for 90
yeah,
days. Oof. Yeah, go
and
on.
it's hard. It's
Yeah.
hard. It's and again, this is not a bad game.
Mhm.
I mean, for those of you that don't know, Steel Hunters is like a mech kind of game
Mhm.
where you play. Um, if you play PvP, you play two uh, teams of two.
Mhm.
That's basically what you do. So I think it's 12 real players, and then you have PvE elements as well. You need to grind a bit to during the actual gameplay upgrade and get better armor and whatnot, some abilities. And they made it quite interesting, but it's a slow game. This
Mhm.
is not one of those fast-paced shooter kind of games. It's more like a tactical shooter with these kind of characters, and that doesn't appeal to everyone. Maybe
Mhm.
especially not some of the real, like if you think really younger audiences. I'm not sure. Maybe I I'm wrong when I say this, but um, there's definitely room for improvement. I also felt that the game, yeah, think I said it when I did my first video that it needs some improvement, but
Mhm.
it's a pity even so. I think I said this as well, and I think you agree as well. Every time a game is, being shut down, even though it might not be something I play on a regular basis, so doesn't
Mhm.
I don't really care like that much. I think it's still a loss
Yeah.
because behind that's been a studio that has put down a lot of time and most likely money as well to try to make it work.
Mhm.
And of course, sometimes games aren't just good enough to survive, but it's also a very harsh climate to get a game out there.
Mhm.
Because some games that I played that I felt was really good just didn't make it because they didn't have the chance either, if that makes sense. They never got it out there enough when it comes to marketing and so it's tough. It's really tough.
It is
So
really tough, and
that's
indeed. And I think the fact that you brought up this topic, I'm actually trying to find something on my laptop here, because it's something that I spoke about. Sorry, not that I spoke about, but something related to what you're speaking about. Um,
yeah.
so there's this campaign that's going on right now here in Europe and in Europe and the UK, and the campaign is it's called StopKillingGames.com.
Yeah,
I've signed
I'm
it.
aware of this.
I've signed a petition for this. So
Oh, you have?
essentially,
Okay.
yeah, I have. Because essentially, what they've the idea behind this is that, look, we understand games are going to sunset and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, if you're going to make a game and you're going to sell it to people and people are going to buy content in it, at least put an option in that maybe the players can put up their own servers and run the games themselves after, so that we have game preservation and we're not games are not just being nuked and just disappear from the world, and I think a game like this is a
True.
perfect type of game to
Yes.
have player servers. Yes, the developers may not want to support it anymore. Maybe it's not financially possible for them at this
Exactly.
going
Most
forward,
likely. Mm.
but at the same time it would be nice to be able to say, hey, you know what, you can still set up your own servers and play a game, and who knows, maybe it finds a community on the self-hosted players, and then later down the line it gets popular again, and the developers decide, hey, we want to come in and add more content and support this game again. So
No, but it's true. This is good. I support this as well. I've
mhm,
heard about it. I heard Asmongold talk about it as well on YouTube, and
mhm,
I just wasn't really, I was so busy, so I never got into the actual petition. I haven't been signing or anything, but I could definitely do that. But yeah, I mean, I've seen early examples of what you are describing that has been quite, how do you say, yeah, good and
yeah,
successful.
mhm,
I played a free-to-play shooter through the years called Dirty Bomb,
mhm,
and I really like that game. It's I said it many times. It's probably the best, or at least one of the best shooters I played. It's
mhm,
it's so good. Um, but Splash Damage decided to stop the support in 2019,
mhm,
and I mean everyone was like, okay, now it's gonna die and whatnot. But
mhm,
what happened around 2019? That they came like there was some. Of course, there has always to be some individuals that take like the lead and it, get in charge of things, and that happened also in the community of Dirty Bomb.
mhm.
So together with the developers, they developers supported the idea, and also maybe even they were a bit of the finances in the beginning when it comes to like renting the servers, because I mean it costs, right?
Yeah.
Uh, but the game is still available. You can still play it on Steam. Sure, the player count is really low. It's just a few hundred playing the game, but I can still get in matches if I want to. I have made videos still once every year at least
Mhm.
regarding the game. And I think I totally agree. I think this is really good and it's important. I've seen some other examples of this, and I played some other games also that has like that went the same path. And
Yeah.
good. Yeah, I will definitely. I see you. Yeah, you sent me the link to the
Yeah, I've posted in the chat
petition.
as well. So no, this petition
Good.
is for EU residents. There's a UK version as well for UK residents as well. Both have
Yeah.
hit their targets that they needed to hit, but obviously the more people sign it, the better, because what they've said is that some of the applications may be fake. So just to mitigate against that, it would be good if more people just sign it, just to help mitigate, just
Right.
in case it a few hundred or a few thousand fake responses to the survey. But excuse me, generally speaking, I think this is good for all gamers, whether you're from Europe or anywhere else in the world, because usually when legislation passes in one of these bigger regions like Europe, it usually affects every other region, because developers are not going to make two versions of the game. They're not going to make a version for the US and Europe or Asia and so forth. They'll just make one version usually, and that's the version that they put out there. So I think this helps all of us. I think this is gonna be better for all of us who sometimes get into a game that does not go the full mile, and you still
Yeah.
enjoy it, but it would be nice to then be able to support the game yourself, especially if you put a lot of time in it. It's sad when you have a game that you've put a lot of time in and you go back to check it out years later, and all the servers are dead and everything's, and you can't do anything with it, and it's sort of,
Yeah.
it's sad.
I mean, I have, I might have mentioned it. One of my oldest son, Adam's, childhood friends.
Mhm,
I mean, they also spent or shared an apartment for a couple of years before Adam bought his apartment now. And he's also a game developer,
mhm,
and he was working at a studio. They had this what is it called, Allura something,
mhm,
a shooter, a tactical shooter,
mhm.
and their game was Sunset.
Wow.
They've been working for years,
Mhm,
and it's over. It's
yeah.
over. So it's like, yeah, I think this is important. It can be, yeah, good initiative. There's nothing really, no more words to it. It's just a good thing.
Game preservation is good. Okay, let's talk about some telly
Yeah.
then. What have you been watching, Raj? What have you been watching?
I
Uh,
know what I've been watching.
I think you should go first, because the show you've
Yeah.
been watching is the title of the episode. The Old Guard
It,
2. What is this about? I've looked at some. I've googled it before we started, so I'm curious to know what are your opinions.
yeah, yeah, of course. Yeah, this is a sequel.
Hmm.
The Old Guard 2 is a sequel to The Old Guard.
Hmm.
So the first movie was yeah, it was made in 2020 or had its premiere in 2020,
Mhm.
and it's basically a kind of a almost superhero like adventure action movie. Superhero might be the wrong word, because it's a group of mercenaries that are like tight knit together. They
Mhm.
have the inability to die, so they are more or less indestructible. And of course, they're protecting the world, and they've done so for centuries.
Mhm.
So when the first movie starts, without spoiling too much, it's back in time,
Mhm.
and the it's Charlize Theron that's the main character. I think
Mhm.
that's how you pronounce her name, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, yeah. Anywho, so that's that, and it's an okay movie. I saw the first one, so I felt like, well, why not watch the sequel just for some entertainment.
Mhm.
The first one has a 6.7 on IMDb. That hasn't been reached yet by the sequel. The
Mhm.
sequel lies around 5.1,
Mhm.
and I have to say I have a hard time to give it like a higher rating. This is one of those hit and miss kind of movie. I don't know. They've even put in like more stars and good actresses.
Mhm.
But even if Uma Thurman is there, I really
Yeah.
like Uma Thurman. I mean,
Mhm.
Kill Bill, come on, it can't be better than that. Uh, but even so, it never take off. The
Yeah.
movie never takes off. It's a bit thin.
Mhm.
It has its moments that
Mhm.
many movies has, but it's not one of those movies where you sit and like, wow, you just breathe through the whole movie and it's a flow and it's just great, well knit together. This is not one of those.
Oof.
But I mean, it goes on. I mean, Charlotte Theron's character Andy, think is still leading these immortal warriors, and the enemy actually here with a small spoiler is, well, it's not a spoiler. It's Uma Thurman.
Mhm.
So it becomes quite uh, hectic and difficult. But we've said this before. Not every movie you watch, at least not for me, has to be like AAA top notch. It's like the same with gaming. Sometimes you take a risk or a chance, you buy a game, and of course you can also be positively surprised about, whoa, why haven't I heard about this game before? Or it's
Mhm.
just, oh shit, that was money in the down the drain. But
Mhm.
but it can also be sometimes just fun to watch some entertainment that doesn't really, you are there, you watch it, and then like a few hours or a day later, you hardly remember what you saw. so so I guess it's one of those. That's the old guard too. I give it one of those. Yeah, okay, kind of fun, but you can live without this. And you can definitely watch the second one, as I did the other day, without watching the first one. They don't really.
They don't
Sure,
call back
for
to
me
some
it was a
stuff.
good experience to know a bit about the characters that but it was such a long time ago since I watched the first movie, so I didn't really remember much anyhow. So it doesn't really matter,
Okay, so
honestly.
it's one of those that
Yeah.
you can watch. I think that's the thing with the film that I watched as well. It's what you consider a B movie. It's not the kind of movie that you're going out there and recommend to all your friends. Like, man, you have to see this. This is the thing.
No,
It's
exactly. No, 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 no. This is just okay. I've seen it. If you want to see it, sure, it's on you.
it's all
But
right. It's
it's one thing that I want to add to this that
mhm,
has nothing to do with the Old Guard 2, and it's a series. I wanted to mention that I on Disney did watch the first 3 episodes that are out there when it comes to the new series called Ironheart. Maybe
mhm.
you've heard of it.
I think I've heard
It's
of Ironheart.
yeah, it's okay. I can put it like this. I watched this so you don't have to. This is a waste of time.
Mhm,
There are many reasons why I say this. First off, this is about a young girl, a teenage, if you will, Riri
mhm,
Williams, that walks in the footstep of Tony Stark
mhm,
and tries to, you know, live on when it comes to the legacy of Tony Stark and of course Iron Man.
mhm.
And we don't need that because the legacy of Iron Man is Tony Stark, and I think the movies like I no, I don't needed this. I can tell you that. Also, I had a problem in the beginning with
Mm-hmm.
the character of this young girl. Is I didn't like her at first. It was like she was so no, I don't know. I didn't feel it,
mm,
and
I think
it
I
has
think
a 4.3 on IMDb, and I'm sorry, it's that low. It's this is not worth
it's not
watching.
good. It's not good, Telly. I think the thing with Riri in the comics that's different than in the because she's a character from the comics as well. That's different from the mainline stuff. Is that in the comics she doesn't build an Iron Man armor on her own. She doesn't just come up with all this sort of stuff. Because I think in the movies that's how it seems like she just like figure this stuff out.
Yeah, the series. It's a series. Yeah.
In the comic, she's mentored by Tony Stark. So Tony is like he's
Mm.
dead, but he has like an AI that he created that is guiding her and teaching her all of the stuff that he knows.
Okay,
So you still
so
have
that's the difference.
you, and
Mm.
I think that makes her a lot more endearing to fans of the comics because she's there with Tony. Tony's teaching her.
Right.
He's helping her. He's because he's the character. He's the Iron Man. You know, at the end of the day,
Mm.
she's taking over his mantle. It's like Miles Morales Spider Man was learning from Peter Parker. You know, if we just had Miles Morales
Yeah.
and Peter is not there, you're like, well, you've replaced Peter. But you have Miles Morales with Peter and Peter's teaching him how to be Spider Man. Now that's cool. You know,
Yeah,
so
you see, this is interesting because this is when things. I mean, sometimes, and we discussed this too. When you're making a movie out of something that is quite well known and famous, whatever have you,
mhm,
it could have been a book or a comic for that sake. Um, Sometimes you can definitely do well, not really sticking to the lore like die hard true, but at the same time, it's often a mistake not to in so many
mhm,
ways, especially if the original, like the story, the lore,
mhm,
is good as it is.
mhm,
And for me, what you described, since I don't know too much about that, that would most likely have appealed a bit more to me and would have explained a bit more what is going on, why it's happening, and kind of would have given it a better reason for it to exist. Uh, that's the best I can put it. I think another example is, well, there's a lot of examples. We can talk about Lord of the Rings, but we can also talk about the upcoming James Gunn Superman movie,
mhm,
because I really want to see it. Because from what I've understood, this is a bit back to what Superman or these kind of superhero movies was back in the day. I'm thinking about the OG original, like Christopher Reeve Superman in the 80s,
mhm,
which I still think is he was probably the best, uh, portraying Superman.
mhm.
Anyhow, then Zack Snyder came into play, and it was darker and it was more gritty, and Henry Cavill, and that can be cool. But now it's back to more towards the comics. It's even I see people making comments like, "What? There are like robots that they're Superman robots." Yeah, they do exist in the comics. Actually,
They
they
do,
do.
they do, yeah.
So they don't. There's a dog. Yeah, it's crypto. He's like,
It's like, have you read a Superman comic before?
no, apparently not. So it's yeah, whatever have you. But I that was a long saying about this. But what I was trying to say once more is that if it ain't broken, don't fix it. At least not too much.
Mhm.
Try to. That's why I also got so disappointed when the new Halo series came around.
Yeah.
Both me and Isaac were like, no, no, we love Halo. And it was like, you're breaking my heart. Potential and possibilities. I mean, the story is great. Halo, the whole Halo universe is one of the best ever made in
Mhm.
video games,
Mhm.
and they just we're doing it like this.
They
Yeah.
pooped on it, you know. It's like and I
Yes.
think the worst part is seeing Hollywood, like directors and stuff who have no interest or have never partaken in the medium that they are portraying, then take on these movies and try to write scripts about these characters that they have no idea anything, they know nothing about, you know.
Exactly.
Whereas having a fan and this is the thing, like I like Henry Cavill a lot, you know, like in his
I was
portrayal.
just about to get to that. I know what you're gonna say because I wanted to say it, but go ahead, bro.
He's a fan. Like when with The Witcher,
Yeah, there we go.
he walked away from The Witcher because he's like, Geralt wouldn't do this, you know, like why would I don't want to do that. When he portrayed Superman in the film, like there's a side of that Henry Cavill, because I remember the first time I saw that movie, I was like, wait, Superman killed someone? No, Superman doesn't do that. But at the same time, it's like that's the script that they were given, and he is granted, that is one of my favorite Superman movies. I like Henry Cavill as Superman. I think he looks
I do that too. I enjoyed this movie. I don't have a problem with that. That's the thing. Has also become something super polarized.
Mm-hmm.
Go on to internet, read like the Zack Snyder fanboys against the James Gunn, and it's like ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, oh, come on. It's just, first off, it's just movies, and second, well, if you don't like it, you don't like it, and that's fine. You don't have to scream about it. Come on.
You can be polite. You can not like something and be polite about it, but
exactly.
I like Henry Cavill. I think he's one of the good ones. Same. I think
But I just wish that what you were saying also, I think you were referring to The Witcher. I mean, since he was such a fan, when it comes to his character, reading the books, knowing the lore, and then feeling that the series, the people directing, well, they're not really taking care of this, are they? No. Yeah. So I don't want to be around here.
I don't want my name on that.
That was like the only reason or whatever, but it's that says something. It says that maybe the guys behind the camera should have had maybe even more knowledge or respect or something like that. I think that would have been appropriate in a way, and that's what I also wished for, what we talked about before also, at least for me being a Halo fan. When finally there was a new Halo series, cool. No, it wasn't.
maybe we should get a Halo fan, you know, who's actually a fan of Master Chief and knows that he doesn't take his damn helmet off, you know, because that's his thing, you know.
Exactly. The first thing they do is like, and everyone was like, no.
You know, like Chief doesn't take his helmet off. It's a known fact. This is just a thing.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the thing. When I think
if it does, it would be like, you know, almost like Doom Guy. It's something you don't see. It's more like
off camera kind of thing. Like you see him from behind, and you just never see the face.
Yeah, exactly. You know.
Yeah, that's how it should be.
We shouldn't show everything, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like with the good, like erotic scene on the screen, it can be like super hot without having everything. Even though I don't mind seeing some boobs, but you know what I mean. It's like
there's the allure. There's the allure of seeing that sort of tempting side boob, or the shadow of the silhouettes of two people involved in some. There's that sort of allure where you're like, ooh, that's kind of nice. I like what I'm saying here. You know, that's the thing. There's that mystique. It's like following a YouTube channel where you've never seen the guy's face the entire time you follow that channel, and you're wondering, oh my God, what does he look like? And then the day you finally see what he looks like, you're like, oh, he doesn't look like I expected him to look. It's like,
exactly, bro.
There's the allure. There's the allure of it all. But that being said,
what about you then? Yeah.
I have been watching something with Xavi. Xavi and I have been watching this show, this movie. We've watched this over a period of time. So we started sometime last week, and we got halfway through, and then we finished it this week. And that movie is called The Kissing Booth. So it's been a while since I've talked about a romantic comedy on this channel.
Indeed.
On the podcast. But I am back, baby. I'm back in them romantic comedy stuff with you know, me and my boy Xavi were watching romance stuff now.
Cool.
So I'm introducing Xavi to the romantic comedy lifestyle, you know, a little taste of it.
Nice.
And so we started...
We're going back in time a bit to 2018, my friend.
2018. Right? I picked this one because I was like, the characters seem younger, so they'll be like easier for Xavi to sort of like you know, like bond with, you know, get vibe with and that kind of stuff. Because I remember my first sort of romantic comedies, you know, they were younger characters in it. The actors and actresses in this film, when they acted in it, they're actually in their 20s, but obviously they're pretending to be teenagers. like 17, 18, that kind of stuff. But
Right.
anyway, the whole story of this kissing booth is that there's this girl and then this boy, and they're both born and the same day, and their parents, their moms were best friends, so they become best
Mm.
friends, and they make these rules, these arbitrary rules at the age of 6 of like, these are the rules of our friendships, so like when your friend is sad, you're supposed to give them ice cream or something, or when your friend, when your bestie, you're the only one that's supposed to know your bestie's wish on your birthday and all this sort of stuff. But one of the
Oh.
rules that they made is that they are not to date each other's siblings, no one in the family. All right. And they made this rule at 6, which didn't matter then. They were 6 years old. But as they get older, as they've gotten older, the best friend, the boy of the best friend, his older brother starts fancying the girl. And the girl, she starts fancying the brother. But they can't tell each other that they fancy each other because she made a rule with her best friend, and he's obviously not comfortable with seeing his best friend and his brother together. So the film starts with that. That's the premise of it, but it builds upon that, and they end up doing this sort of thing in school, and it leads to a kiss, and things start getting a bit more entangled from there. So the Kissing Boot is amazing. It is a 5.9 IMDb. I will give it a 7. This is and the reason why I'll give it a 7, and let me preface the 7. If you're not into romantic comedies and all that kind of stuff, this is probably around a 5.9. But if you're into romantic comedies and you just like that ooey gooey stuff and it's just nice to just chill, and like a B movie, it's like when you watch a bad movie but it's good because it's bad. This is the kissing game for me. The Kissing Booth.
Because here on my end, when I check IMDb, it says 5.9.
That's why I say it's a 5.9 IMDb.
Yeah, sorry, okay.
But I've given it I give it a 7, right?
Yeah, that I understood. Yeah,
so for me personally, it's a 7. IMDb hasn't a 5.9. If you don't like romantic comedies and stuff like this, it is a 5.9. If you do like this kind of stuff and you just want something to just chill and enjoy, and it's kind of sweet, and I mean, this is, I would say the target audience of this are probably teenage girls.
Could be. Yeah.
I would say so. Teenage girls, young women in their 20s. This is the target audience. This falls along the lines of stuff like what's that movie with that book with the girl and the dominatrix stuff? Get the name of it. 50 Shades of Grey. It falls in the line of stuff like 50 Shades of Grey. It's 50 Shades of Grey-ish, but a bit more tamed down for a young audience. But it is quite a good watch. You have it's a solid movie in the sense of like it goes full circle in what it's showing and all that kind of stuff. The characters are all, they're all good looking, from the perspective of, they look good. I mean, the main actress who plays the lead, Joey King.
Right.
I'm just gonna say the cameraman, whoever was doing the camera work, my guy should be given an award or something, because he was just focusing on her on cheeks, like literally the whole film.
One of those camera guys. Yeah,
he's a cheeks cameraman, a cultured man, and I'm just saying, there's like even one scene where like it's a side angle and you just see the cheeks on the side, and me and Savi just were watching and we're just like, yeah, it was like mutual appreciation. So this was a watch. This was quite a watch. I as I say, for me it's a 7. I enjoyed watching this with Xavier. It was cool, and I'm enjoying more.
What did he think? What did he think?
He liked it. I don't know if he liked it as much as I did, but I think he liked it enough to the point where he's like, we gotta watch the second and the third movie. So I was like, okay, cool, because there are 3 movies in it.
Okay, good.
So I'm like, okay, cool, we're gonna watch the second and third movie. It's gonna be great, because I've been slowly trying to introduce him to films of like of my taste, the stuff that I like to watch. And now that he's of age, that I can actually watch like more mature stuff with him. He's 16 years old, so it's like we can actually sit and watch stuff that's just not like Teletubby stuff, baby things. I don't have to watch the parental guidance and think, oh my god, he's not going to understand his innocent brain. So I'm actually.
It sounds wise. It sounds good too. I mean, first off, you like these kind of movies a lot, and why shouldn't you share that with him now?
Mm-hmm.
That's great, and I think also it's very it's very lighthearted. It's very nice. It's very innocent and
Yeah.
everything. It's not like me sitting with Isaac. Dun, 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 dun. This is good stuff. And then they start to shag. It's like that happened.
I think you know what, when you told me about that with Isaac, when
You remember the first season of
I
Game of Thrones? They
remember
were
the first
doing it in
season.
every freaking episode.
The episode would start, and then you'd get halfway through, and then be like,
yeah,
and he's just like, all right, they're doing that now. Great, perfect. Yeah. I can't watch this by in public. But the thing though is, when Isaac was younger, when I was also younger, and we discussed this, and I remember you saying that you were watching with Isaac, I was shocked. I was like, oh, you're watching with Isaac. And I think at the time Isaac was 16 at the time. And
yeah,
I think now, like, I'd watch that with Savvy now, so I get it now. Like, I'm in the position you were back then, so like now I get it. I'm like, yeah, 16-year-old could handle that, you know.
Yeah. It wasn't the problem. It was more me. I think I thought more about it. Sitting like this, and it, as you said,
it does feel kind of weird when your kid is next to you and you're watching something like that. It's like there's a.
And he was like.
Exactly. Listen, it is what it is.
It's war. They're killing each other. They're shagging. So what?
So what? It happens. It happens. I think my thing with Savvy, how I do it, is that I don't know if he's figured it out yet, but I make humor of it, so I laugh and stuff like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
And he's he laughs as well, but I don't know. I try not to take it too seriously when stuff is going on like that. The intimate stuff. Something like ew. And he laughs at me, and it's sort of like it's sort of that kind of thing. But yeah, I try to make it light-hearted enough that we enjoy the stuff together and so forth. So yeah, it's good. Wow. It's really nice. I mean, because I think like with his mom, they'll watch the stuff like the more gruesome stuff together. Your vampire movies and your horrors and. So he's got a very diverse taste in film, which is great. It's great that he has a diverse taste in film. So
I think that's good.
He can watch whatever with whoever and so forth and be comfortable.
Remember how we grew up, especially also the movies that were made. I mean, I saw like everything. I loved sci-fi, but I also watched a bit of not so much horror at that time. It was more my sister. My sister watched every horror movie, but it was sci-fi, and it was also like comedies. Yeah. Comedies was still that was the like 80s, 90s. A lot of comedies.
It's big. It was a huge thing back then.
It's not the case anymore.
It's not the case anymore. And I think the thing as well is that for growing up in those times, you had less options. There was no Netflix and all that kind of. You kind of watch what was on telly, and which meant sometimes you had to watch something that you probably otherwise would not have watched because that's just what happened to be on at the time when you happen to have time to watch telly. So there are a lot of films that I otherwise would never have watched had I not had like infinite amounts of access to television that like now where kids these days can go on Netflix and pick exactly what they want to watch. When we were growing up, it was like you watched what was like whatever the channels that you had, that's what you were watching, and even if it was like you had cable and you had extra channels, it was still whatever was showing at that time is what you got to watch, So
it's true.
It's
very different. Yeah.
It is a difference indeed. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Whew.
Nice.
That's it. I think we got a podcast. I think
so too, bro. No, we have. I was just glad to hear that you've been watching this with Savi. That makes sense. It's good. Mm-hmm. Thumbs up. Golden star in the parental the parent book.
I try. You know what? I actually asked Savi this question the other day, and it made me so happy. The other night we were up, and I asked him. I was like, Savi, if you were on a deserted island, right? The island had all the things you need to survive: food, shelter. You didn't have to worry about that kind of stuff. But you had to stay on that island for at least 3 years, and you could only pick 5 people to be there on the island with you. Who would you pick? And he picked me first. I was the first person on his left, and I was like, yes!
That is nice. Yeah. Aww.
I was like, yes, that's it. That's my guy,
Beautiful.
So, yeah. Which, you know what? We haven't done a question in a while. Let's leave that as a question for you guys. Who would you put on your island? You have 5 people you can have on an island with you. In the case of parents, you can't choose your kids. That was also the rule. You can't choose your kids because that's an easy answer. You have to find 5 people. Your spouse can count. You can choose your spouse if you want to. But you can't choose your kids. That's too easy an answer. Because I think with most parents, you're going to choose your kids anyway because it's your kids. Like, I'm going to pick my kids anyway. So, because in that equation, I'd pick my kids too. So, you can't choose your kids. You can choose your spouse, and you have 5 people to choose from. Who are you picking for your island? 3 years you have to be with those people, right? Some feelings might have to get hurt. But by the way, in that question, you're on
Yeah.
my list, Raj. You know, just
Yeah,
just
I
to
would
point
only
out,
pick one.
you're on
Yeah,
my list.
yeah, I will only pick one. I will only pick one. I'm sorry, it's not you, Q. Uh, I would pick Brooke Shields, how she was and looked in the Blue Lagoon from 1980.
You
It
know
would be
what?
me and Brooke Shields in this lagoon. That's
I
it.
I would not
Boom.
fault you at all if that's your choice. If that's the reason you know what? I would be upset with you if you didn't choose
No,
Big
you can come
Shields.
along as well. We'll make it a good trio.
Oh, brilliant!
They're brilliant. It's brilliant, isn't it? By the way, did
Definitely.
you ever watch that movie? You know,
Yes,
the
I
Blue
did.
Lagoon.
That was one
Remember?
of those
Yeah,
movies you watched that I watched.
yeah.
Not.
It was right. It was right. Talking about like, yeah, romantic.
It
Actually,
was
not
romantic.
romantic comedy, but romantic.
It
Yeah.
was romantic. It was one of those that came on the telly that I didn't plan to watch, but it was the only thing on at the time, and I wanted to watch telly, and so
Yes.
I watched
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
was like, oh, okay, cool, this is all right. Wait a minute, ooh, that's
I also think we watched it when I was in school. I think, yeah, it must have been when I was like in the 5th grade or 6th grade, and we had like I don't know, we had a party, the class, and we were watching it like VHS
ooh,
kind of
really?
thing. Yeah, yeah, I think that's the case, and everyone was like, oh yeah, the boys were, oh, she's so good looking, and the girls like, he's so cute.
You know what? That would never happen in a modern
And they
school.
were shagging.
They were definitely shagging. Definitely, I remember watching that and thinking, man, you know, I wish I had it on VHS to like go back
Yeah,
and pause and stuff back then. Because
exactly.
sometimes just for scientific reasons
Yeah, of course.
you want to do some research.
Science.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I couldn't back then because it was on telly and I had no option to pause
No,
and
it was the spur of the moment. Then it was gone, which is in a way quite beautiful. I
yeah,
mean, it is what it is, and then it's over. Uh, Not that I don't like. I mean, VHS and everything was a great thing coming, and CD and DVD later, of course. But anywho, yeah.
it is. You know what? I'm adding the Blue Lagoon to my watch list. Xavier and I need to watch this. Yeah, I think he needs to learn about
There we
this
go.
classics, man. This is a
There we go.
classic. Let me add this to my watch list. I'm
It's a
a
timestamp. It's important. It's one of those
classic. He needs to
learn
know.
your classic film history kind of
Hun.
movies.
You know, that's the thing. I've never really watched any classic films with him before. Like really, really
Ah.
stuff like that far back. I've not done that. I think that's going to be interesting because
Then you, yeah.
that's going to be quite
Why not?
interesting.
Why not watch? Maybe. I mean, Isaac hadn't watched the Naked Gun, and
Naked
we
Gun.
watched that quite recently. I mean, remember Leslie Nielsen? I mean, this is, I I was laughing quite some
Mm-hmm.
again. I'm not talking about like 2025. I'm talking about
the classic one with the
yeah, of
yeah, and
course.
that's on Netflix, isn't it? I'm seeing it says it's showing Netflix for me
I
here.
think so. Yeah, that's where we watched it actually.
I think I'll add that to the list as well.
The
Definitely.
Naked Gun from the Files of Police Squad, I think
Mm-hmm.
it's called. That's the one. Yeah,
Classic stuff. Classic.
it's crazy fun.
They don't
I
make
really
films
enjoy
like
it.
that anymore.
Classic.
They don't do them like that
No,
anymore.
and they don't make. This is the format also. It's 1 hour 25 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's it. Those kind of comedies were often like 1 hour 30 minutes.
Yeah, yeah. And you got in, you watched the film, you enjoyed it, and you got out. That was it. You know.
Yeah.
This was stuff that was just good. It's really, really, really good. So,
Yeah.
it's in the watch list. So,
Yeah, I think you guys should watch it.
as we get through it, we'll inevitably get to that. And again, it's nice because right now, as I said, Xavi is he's finished his GCSE, so he's at home right now in between starting
Yeah.
doing his A levels. So because of that, he's got a lot more time, and in the nighttime when it's a good enough time after Ty's going to bed, him and I sometimes we sit down and we watch something together, and it's kind of like our time, so.
By the way, yeah, I can share this. Not like only private after we say thank you and goodbye, but I forgot something that really happened
Mm-hmm.
that is important to mention is that Isaac, my youngest son, got accepted to film school here in Stockholm.
Ooh la la,
Yes.
magnificent.
Yeah.
That is so
Yep. Yep. Yep.
cool.
Yeah, that's very nice. He had like they called him up. It was like I thought they were done, so I went up because it was like an interview like this, and I went up and I was like, "How are you?" And I was still there. I was like, "Oops, backed out." So they were going on for quite some time. But no, that's great. So he starts in September. Yeah,
Ooh. Tell Isaac I said congratulations. I think that is
I will for
awesome.
sure. No,
Especially considering
it's
the
gonna be
stuff that he's done in the past from stop motion on YouTube to working on video games and stuff like that. And the project he's been working on with this friend of his.
yes.
I think that's awesome for him. Like I can't wait to see what he does at film school. So yeah, that's gonna be cool. It's gonna be super, super cool.
Yeah. No, I'm happy as well as a parent. It feels good that he, you know, got into this now and can take the next step and see what happens from there.
Yeah.
That's all you want for your children. So.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, their wins are your wins. At the end of the day, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like when they do good, you're like, yes, you know what? I taught them that. I made them that smart.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Credits.
Yeah,
Credits.
it's mine, all mine. If they mess up, that's no. You see, that's their mom. That's my missus,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But when they do great,
I
that's
showed
me.
them all the Star Wars movies.
It
I
was me.
did.
I made them cool. They weren't cool. They weren't. I made them cool. So.
Yeah. No, but that's cool. But as you said before, it was nice though with this little coda, the aftermath of things that we had here towards the end. But we should say thank you and sayonara and everything, because it's been a podcast. But as always, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for also contributing a bit here and there. I hope you're gonna have a great week. It's summer. Enjoy being together with family and friends and whatnot. And hopefully we'll talk. Oh, this is a microphone. Okay. Hopefully we will. Oops, and he had a microphone in his hand from a headset. Hopefully we'll talk and meet next week. So until then, muffin and out.
Beautiful as always. So with that, guys, you can find Roger at 40 Splish Splash. That's number 40 to SPLISH, SPLASH. He streams on a Tuesday and a Sunday. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And if you haven't planned your Sunday stream yet, for the next couple of weeks, I just wanted to let you know that if you don't already know, Dead by Daylight has The Walking Dead now. Michonne and Rick and Daryl in there, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah.
So just
that has to be explored. No, it's actually true. Sandro wrote, I think, not a few streams back, because he's on a vacation now. He pops in, but he's on vacation, and he said, I think it's time maybe to check out Dead by Daylight again. So he gave me a reminder, and I also said to Isaac a few days ago, like, I think it's time to plan that. So yes, soon.
Just let me know when you need me. I just have to
absolutely no for
install
sure.
updates. Yeah. Just gotta install the updates and everything, and I'm good to go.
Sounds great.
I call dibs on Daryl.
Do that.
I call dibs on Daryl. You can have Michonne. You can have Rick. Daryl is mine. I want that crossbow. So
yeah, he's a badass.
He is. So cool.
I wish though you could have his crossbow, but we know that's not how it works in Dead by Daylight.
It should have his bike as well. They should just have everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything should be him. It should be cool. But anyway, and Michonne should have her sword.
Of course.
Yeah. So that being said, you can find me at LPGuardians, LPGRDIN, Guardian Total U, pretty much everywhere else. And as always, you can find us at Simply Binge or at Simply Binge UK. And we wouldn't like you guys to miss on any of the episodes of That Beautiful Life podcast. Many beautiful people like you subscribe to this podcast on Castbox, Acast, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, simplybinge.com, and elsewhere. And with the company that you're going to like it, that we're giving it for free. So, as always, guys, this has been Cued. Your pleasure. It's a wrap. That's the episode.
That is the episode. Yeah.
You know what?
How about your walks? Have you been continuing taking some walks?
I have been taking walks, not as much though. Not as frequently when I was up north. I have not been taking them as frequently, and but I have been getting walks though. I have been getting walks, just not like when I was up north. It was every day. When I'm back home, I have been getting out of the house. I have been cycling. I cycled a few times. Even today, I went. Good. I was on the bike today. But I'm severely not. I'm out of shape right now. Like I can feel it when I try to put my leg down on the pedals. I can feel barely any power. I'm just like, man, what's happened to me? I've got weak sauce
Yeah,
marmalade.
right.
So I do need to get back into proper shape. I mean, I'm still healthy
Yeah.
enough shape. I can go for a walk or run. I'm
Yeah, yeah,
still
yeah. But the stamina, the power, all that, you
yes.
know.
It's diminished a little
That
bit. It's diminished a little bit.
yeah.
I can still win a a wrestling competition against Xavi. So that much I still have. You know.
Good. Okay.
He's,
Check. Yeah.
yeah, I sized him up in the living room today. He's taller than me now, so he's like that, and so I'm looking up at him like that, and I stood up next to him and I folded my arms, and then so he folded his arms, and we sort of just like, you know, we looked at each other, and then I approached him, and he approached me, and then we got into a wrestle, but I won, because I've still got that strength, that old man strength, I guess you call it.
Look at that.
But but yeah, it is what it is.
I'm not so sure that would be the case if I would do that with neither Isaac or Adam nowadays. To be honest, it's gonna be a tough one.
I still think you could take them.
Especially Adam, because also remember, yeah, I mean he's strong, but also he has been training a lot of martial arts.
It's
so
fine. It's fine. You see, the thing is, you made him. You know his weaknesses. That's it.
True. Now that is true. I do know.
That's it.
I do know.
That's it. Xavi's weak against Tickles. It's easy to take him
and
down.
I have the routine. I've been living long. I can do the street smart stuff.
That's it. That's it. Even if he learns taekwondo and everything, you're like, look, I know how to take you down if I need to. I'm saying. Because the day's gonna come when he's gonna come home and he's like, I'm taking over the house now. I'm in charge, and you have to listen to me. You gotta be like, you gotta be ready. You gotta be ready for that day.
Could be so. Could be so.
Well, like lions out in the wild, So
Yeah.